So welcome to Art Anthology's live class, and I'm Phyllis if you haven't been here before, and I'll be recreating this layout here. Okay, so first of all, usually I trim the page because if you put them in the protective sleeves in your album, they're not going to fit when they have a lot of bulk to them. So I take about probably 1/8 of an inch off on two sides. And most times I add another sheet of paper on the back just for stability. So I'm going to use gesso. And when I do these pages, I do so much that I don't remember the steps. So I don't know if it looks like I didn't cover the whole page. And I always use too much gesso. So this is an acrylic gesso. Hi Sabrina, nice to see you here. Did you get a chance to get things ready to create along with me? So I love using a card to apply the gesso. Before I was using a paintbrush, and this just spreads it out more evenly. I don't know, what is that? So it gives a good coat, but it's on really thin, and I like that because it doesn't take as long to dry. Oh boy, you just barely made it. I was out doing errands earlier too, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late. But I made it. I had an hour ahead of time, so. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a quick dry. And then I think I'm gonna put that aside and do, so on this back matting, photo matting, I used some of the paint on there, and I just love the texture it gives. It just is, it's so full of texture. So I'll do that so that way it has some time to dry while I'm doing the layout. And I'm just using corrugated paper, which is one of my favorite things to use. And I always use a paper plate. I don't know why I do that, but so I'm going to use Timeless colorations. And when I'm doing these layouts, I just play. I don't really have a plan or anything. I just kind of start playing with the product and hope it turns out. And 9 times out of 10 it does. So I just spray, I gave it a good spray here, and then I'm going to give it a dry. And then I'm going to use the Sorbet Kenyan Copper. Like I don't know if you heard me earlier, but this is one of my very favorite colors to work with. Plus the blue. I love any of the blues with this color. So I just applied it with the spatula. As you can see, I'm getting low on this color, but because I use it a lot. I just love how creamy the paint is. It's so yummy. And when I'm doing projects, I have wet wipes on hand so I can actually just wipe this off. And then, oh my gosh, I left one of the paints out. Let me grab it real quick. Okay, here it is. And I used the Stone Effects, and this one is called Copper. And this was just for color. It's getting really thick, but I just wanted a little bit of different coloring going on here. Hi, Debbie. Deb. I just saw your name and I was like, Debbie. But hi, Deb. Nice to see you here. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to let it dry, and I'll probably give it a quick dry before I apply it to the page. So we're going to use the mud, and this is a texture paste. And this dries really quick. So our Anthology's 6x9 cracked stencil. Make sure I'm in the screenshot here. This texture paste applies really easily, and it's actually really easy to wash the stencils. It's kind of chalky, but it's just really creamy. And if you work with a lot of stencils, it's awesome if you can remember to have a little big bowl of water somewhere near you, so that way you don't have to run to your sink and wash it off every time, or because I don't like when they get caked on and dried up. I tend to ruin them if I leave them to dry and I can't get them clean. So I have a little, actually it's not little, it's a big bowl on the floor, so when I'm working I put it there to soak until I can get to it. So I'm going to give this a quick dry. Okay, and then I'm going to use this rosette stencil, and most of it got covered up, but I hadn't used it yet, so I thought I'm going to find a way to use this one. So I'm going to change, well actually I see I did place it up here. And it's okay to miss. You can miss, you know, I'm always a perfectionist and I always tend to try and make sure it's all covered, but you know, it doesn't matter. It just gives it a little more interest if, you know, it's not perfect. I don't remember for sure. I can't really tell if I put it on this side, but I'm going to this time. Okay, let me make sure it's in the water. Okay, that'll be it for the stenciling. So see how creamy that is? It's awesome texture paste. Hi, Jen. I'm trying to read the commenting here. Jen, did you figure it out? Okay. I hope you can figure it out. I'm gonna give this a quick dry. So you want to make sure that the paste is dry, because when you do spray, it's chalky, so you'll want to make sure it's dry so it doesn't start kind of melting. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest color, and this is Timeless, and I'm just going to do it randomly. And then I'm going to give that a quick dry. Hey Jen, maybe refresh your page, or log off and then log back on to see if that'll help. Okay, and next I'm going to use the French Toast, and this is a fun color too. And it's a good thing to wipe your sprayer off after every use, and I don't do that. As you can see, it just sprayed all crazy. So see, it sprayed better that time. And then if it's too dark, then you can just give it a quick squirt and then move it around by tilting your page upward. See how it moves? And then if you don't want these dark spots, excuse me, my voice, you can actually just dab it. But I like that. I like that it has a lighter spot and then some dark places here. So I'm going to give that a quick dry. Actually, I'm going to do this part so that way it can start drying. So I love doing splatters of the paint, and sometimes I use a fan paintbrush, and then sometimes I just open up the bottle and Make sure you're not wearing any white, because I've ruined quite a few shirts just because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing and it got on my clothes. So, or put your apron on, that would be better. So I'm going to give this a quick dry. I just want to check the chat here. Thanks for your help, Deb and Sabrina. I've never had any issues, so I don't know. You know, I figured if you log out and then log back in, maybe that would work. A few times I actually had to turn my computer down, and then when I was, just before I was going to do a class, it wasn't working. I'm like, no way. So anyway, I just shut my computer down and started it back up, and it was fine. So some computers can be glitchy like that. So I'm going to get the paint, the Canyon Copper again. And I think, so I'll show you here. So I think this was kind of an afterthought. I got the page done and I just wanted a little more color on here, so I got this out and just used the spatula and ran it through on the page. Actually, you know what? I probably should have did the stamping. Let me do the stamping real quick. That way the stamp won't get into the paint. And if you're working with ink, you know, spraying StazOn is really good. I haven't used any other kind of ink stamping pads, but this is really great. Okay. So I think I need to dry that one a little bit more. So I just do this randomly. Sometimes I feel like I'm messing it up, but you know, when you don't plan anything, it can be messed up, or it can work out. Most times it works out for me, so that's a good thing, I guess. And I'm trying to, so let me give this a quick dry because I did stamp right here. Let me check the chat. Anybody have any questions? Oh, hi, Patty. There was no ticket. When I clicked on it, I made sure it said find ticket, because that's what I see when I click on. So, oh gosh. There was no link either. So I'm I'm sorry, this is new to me. I set it up and I thought it was all set up. So let me, maybe I should go check on Facebook to see if everybody is on or, you know, has questions. Hang on a second. Oh no. Okay, let me see here. Shoot. I don't know what to do, but I guess I'm just gonna have to continue because I really don't know how to fix that or if it's possible to fix that. So I'll have to research on that for next time. I actually have a class next week again that I'm gonna schedule. I'm sorry about that. No wonder why nobody's here. I'm so sorry. There'll be, you know, did I hit the record? Okay, I hit the record. Okay, so I just kind of gave it a kind of a flick right here. Okay, so let me check the chat again here. I have to scroll down. I'm so sorry, gosh. I'm still learning, so anyway. Okay, so this is what I did with that paint. And let me see what it, so next we'll be doing the background matting. And what I usually do is I go through my scrap box and I'll start with colors, you know, with the sprays. I'll look at my scraps and make sure I have colors that will match, and sometimes they're little pieces and sometimes I cut them down. My hardest thing with scraps is I don't want to cut them even when they're scraps, and so I have a whole box of scraps. And then I lost my distressor. It is somewhere here in my space. I don't know. I lost it a couple weeks ago and it was right in front of me, but this time I cannot find my distressor. So this time, I mean, I have my Prima large one, but I figure I'll just leave it this time because I love to distress everything. And this time I actually am using full sheets for my A4 pad. Gosh, I feel horrible now that nobody can find the class. Okay, so what I did on this one is I tore it. And it's a different color than the other one, but you know, it'll still match. And when I'm super busy and I don't want to cut up some backing, this is what I've done. I sat down for like 5 or 10 minutes and I cut up a whole box. So this is my stash of recycled boxes. It's handy and I love just being able to grab it and cut it into small pieces. This paper I think was from Prima's Emporium. And then, oh gosh, this one here was, I don't even remember. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it was from the time, I'm pretty sure the Timeless. No, it's not Timeless. Oh man, it doesn't have the, so this is, I don't remember which one it was, but Deb, I'll get back with you and see if I can search that. Okay. So let me glue this down. Okay. So I'm gonna get, I don't know what this stuff is called, but I'm gonna call it grass. It's kind of like dried grass. And I love this stuff, but it's kind of messy. So I just like to add a little more interest because I love texture. So I'm just gonna put this up here. This just gives it dimension, and sometimes you can put 2 on, but I wouldn't go more than 2 because it'll leave too much of a gap. So I'm gonna, this is still pretty wet, so I'm gonna give this a quick dry here. I don't know if you can see how this bubbles when you dry it. I love that. It just gives it more texture. Okay. So sometimes I actually found that if I bunch this up, I can actually staple it and it'll help it stay together, but sometimes I'll just put a bunch of glue underneath and then press down, because this stuff is, when it's broken up, it's hard to keep in place. And then if there's too many pops of it, you know, sprouting everywhere, I just trim it down. Okay, and let me find the trim here, the lace. I'm probably getting ahead of myself. And then I had to have some burlap here. That's great for texture. Okay, I'm going to glue this down. My Fabri-Tac is driving me crazy. It's getting all gunked up on the tip there. And it makes it difficult to work with. And I know that you can thin it out with, you know, acetone or even your finger polish remover, but I found that it actually dries it out, and when you get towards the end of your bottle, like a fourth of it, it doesn't work very good. Okay, let me glue this down. Oh, I forgot one thing. So cheesecloth is another favorite of mine to add to my projects. And I forgot to add it behind. Actually, I'm just going to add it on the bottom here, and that way we can put the trim over it. Let me clean this up real quick. Okay. Actually, I'm going to use this to stamp. And I'm trying to look at my picture here, my page, to see what is next. So I'm going to lay that down, and then I'll put some glue on the flowers, and that should help it stay down. Okay, let me check chat to see if anybody has any questions. So what I do is I usually just place everything where I think they should go, and then I go back and glue it. I think I left one flower out. So I already see I have a big gap here, but that's okay. It'll work out fine. So I put this butterfly here. Oh, I was gonna check chat here. I feel so bad that Jen didn't figure, you know, that I didn't have the right link, or there was no link. I'll be better next time. I'll get it all squared away. Actually, I'm missing 2 flowers, but we'll make this work here. I didn't mean to grab it. I just give it a good push so that way the glue sticks with the embellishment. And I need to stamp a clock and cut it out. Oh goodness, where did, oh, my ink pad go? So my stamp hasn't been working very well. I don't know why, but it doesn't take the ink very well. And I've washed it, I've dried it, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going to do right here. See how faded that is? But I mean, you can still see it. But it used to stamp really good. Okay, if I could find my distresser. Oh, it's right in front of me. So here's my other distresser. Okay. So next will be the beads and glass glitter. And I didn't put a title on this one. So there's the picture. Let me grab my plate. And I think I'll start with the beads. Let me find my spatula. Sometimes I add the glue first and then I just sprinkle beads on or glass glitter, but other times I mix it and then I'll try to spread it with the spatula. But sometimes that kind of annoys me because it just wants to stick to the spatula. And I try to give it quite a bit of glue. Actually, this is a 3D gloss gel, but it works great for beads and glass glitter. Actually, I was going to start with it. So this is all I have left of my brown seed beads. I've been trying to use up some of the beads I have, so some things I've had a long time. So I just tried to spread them out in each section. And then I went over with the glitter glass glitter. And I'm going to grab another plate. Let me put this aside. And then that is it this one turned out a little different because of the spacing, and I think it was, I made the background paper matting, the photo matting part too large. Okay, so here's, can you see both of them in the screen? They're pretty similar. And so if I have a project ready for the next class, I give you guys a sneak peek. So I have, let me move these aside. And let me, okay. So this is a canvas I created. I posted a quick sneak peek of what I started. And this will be the next class. So I just love this color combo. It's just one of my favorites. But then when I work with purple and pink, and I love those too. So hopefully you can come next week, and hopefully I'll have it right, the link and everything. So I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Like I said, I'm new. I'm learning this, so hope thank you for your patience, and I hope you tune in next week, and thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Deb. So I'm gonna stop recording.